Alright, hey, this is George Simons, co-founder of SoloSuit. I'm going to show you folks in Wisconsin how to respond to a debt collection lawsuit. Alright, first I just have to say, it's a little bit late here. It's after hours at SoloSuit, so you just caught me here in my bathrobe. Hope you don't mind. So, first thing to know in Wisconsin is that the deadline to respond to a lawsuit is only 20 days. That means you only got 20 days to respond to the lawsuit once you receive that complaint and summons. Otherwise, you automatically lose your case. You probably don't want to lose your case, which is why you're watching this video. So you only got 20 days to respond. That's laid out in Wisconsin statutes, section 802.061A. Cite that to your friends. That's the deadline to respond to a debt collection lawsuit. There are 4 steps to respond to a debt collection lawsuit in Wisconsin. First step is to create the answer document. Second step is to answer each issue of the complaint. Third is to assert your affirmative defenses. And fourth is to file the answer with the court and serve the plaintiff. So those are 4 pretty straightforward steps. We're gonna go over each one of those in this video. But in case you don't know already, SoloSuit can do all of that for you. SoloSuit can take care of all of those steps for you. You can just go over to solosuit.com and get started. We just ask you a few quick questions. You give us some answers, and then we generate your document for you and have an attorney review it and make sure it gets filed with the court and with the plaintiff to make sure you're all set and good to go. We have a super great track record. 80% of all of our customers have like a super positive outcome. It means the case either settles or gets dismissed. But don't take my word for it. Our customers also love us. Our friend George Harris left us a great 5-star review on Google, and here's what he said. He said, when an aggressive debt collection law firm served me with a summons, even after I had requested, and they had failed to provide verification of the debt, I needed an answer document quickly. It came across SoloSuit. The service was quick, fast, and on time. Now the collection firm has to put up or shut up. Well said, George. Couldn't have said it better myself. And he said, thanks, Team SoloSuit. Step number 1, create your answer document to the summons. Okay, so you know you're being sued in Wisconsin when you see this. This is a summons document. It tells you that you're being sued. And it looks like this. You'll receive a summons document along with a complaint document that looks like this. The complaint document tells you why you're being sued. Okay, so these 2 documents together, they start a lawsuit. It's the summons and the complaint document. When you receive them, you know you're being sued. Alright, next step in the lawsuit is to respond with an answer document. Alright, the person that's suing you is the plaintiff, the debt collector is the plaintiff, you're the defendant, and the defendant has to respond with an answer document. Okay, so what's an answer document? It's a capital A answer document. It's a formal document that has to be formatted properly for the court to receive it and to accept it when it's filed. The answer document on it goes some important information like the names of the parties, the case number, the name of the court, as well as it has to be properly styled and formatted. You have to have the caption and the styling and all that all set up properly for the court to accept it. In the answer document, basically you're going to respond to every numbered allegation in the complaint. And that's step 2. Step 2, answer each item in the complaint. Okay, so the complaint document has a bunch of numbered paragraphs or allegations. These are statements that the debt collector is making against you. And it's up to you to say whether or not these statements are true. Okay, so in the answer document, you're going to have corresponding numbered paragraphs. In each one of those paragraphs, you're going to say whether you admit, deny, or deny for lack of knowledge the paragraph in the complaint. There's numbered paragraphs in the complaint. In the answer, you're going to respond in one of 3 ways to those paragraphs. The first way is to say that you admit it. Only admit it if you agree with literally everything in the paragraph, all right? And then the second way is to deny it. Deny is what attorneys like most. Attorneys always say like deny, deny, deny. And you can deny a paragraph if you disagree with something, okay? So when you say deny, you're saying that you are disagreeing with something in the paragraph. And here at SoloSuit, we actually even think about it more like this. Like we say, if you're denying something in the complaint, you're basically saying you refuse to admit that it's true and that you'd like the court to require the other side to prove that it's true. Okay, so it's important to recognize that in a lawsuit like this, it's not up to you to show that you don't owe the debt. It's actually up to the debt collector to prove that you do owe the debt. So a big difference there. Then the third way to respond is by saying you deny for lack of knowledge. This is basically like saying, I don't know. All right, so it's a great option for indecisive people. You just say, I don't know. No harm in that. This is what our answer looks like at SoloSuit. It's a time-tested document. It's one of the most filed documents in all the US courts, and it gets our customers great success, and oftentimes just gets their case dismissed and they just win outright. Step 3, list your affirmative defenses. Okay, what is an affirmative defense? It's a defense saying why you should win your case. All right, so up to now in the answer document, you've just been responding to the numbered paragraphs in the complaint, but now is where you can actually take more initiative to bring up additional defenses that aren't really mentioned in the complaint document and reasons why you should win your lawsuit. Okay, and normally there's a long list of like formal defenses and formal language that you can use in these affirmative defenses. But right now I'm just going to lay out some ideas in layman's terms. Okay, so some affirmative defenses you can use in Wisconsin are saying, hey, I don't owe the money, therefore I shouldn't be required to pay. Okay, or you can say you're not the owner or co-signer on the account, the lawsuit is an error, the contract was canceled. Or you can say you have proof that the debt was paid, right? Hey, I already paid this debt, that means they can't sue me for it, right? Or you can say you're the victim of identity theft. Or finally, you can bring up that the statute of limitations has expired. All right, this is everybody's favorite, so I'm going to go into more detail. All right, here's the statute of limitations on debt collection in Wisconsin. The statute of limitations on debt in Wisconsin are laid out in section 893.57. I remember that number. It's a good section, lays out one of your most powerful defenses if you're sued for debt. Okay, so the section lays out all types of limitations on actions, on lawsuits for debt collection. It's important to understand what a statute of limitations is, of course. It's literally just that statute of limitations. So it's a statute that puts a limit on how long, in this case, somebody can sue you for a debt. So if the statute of limitations, for example, is like 6 years, and if somebody tries to sue you at year 7, then it's up to you to bring that up as a defense in court and basically say, hey, they can't sue me because now it's 7 years after and statute of limitations is 6 years. Again, really crucial note, sometimes people think, oh, hey, they're suing me, it's actually past statute of limitations, it means I don't have to respond. No, that's not right. You have to respond. The court, the judge is not on your side. The judge isn't a referee. He's not going to bring it up for you. It's up to you to bring up this defense in your answer document. Okay, so with that said, what are the statute of limitations? Okay, here they are. On an oral debt, something that's agreed to verbally, statute of limitations is 6 years. On a written debt, something written down, it's 6 years. On mortgages, it's 10 years, right? So if you had a house and you aren't paying, you like defaulted on the mortgage, people can sue you for it 10 years later. For open debt, pretty uncommon, statute of limitations also 6 years. Credit card debt, super common, 6 years, right? If you have like a Synchrony bank card or like an Amazon card or something backed by Barclays Bank, the statute of limitations on that is 6 years. Auto loans, 6 years. Court judgments, what's a court judgment? It's what happens if you lose your lawsuit because you didn't answer. That's a court judgment. That means they can come after you for another 6 to 20 years, right? Because it kind of depends on some factors, but up to 20 years. Okay, so when does the statute of limitations clock starts ticking? It starts ticking based on the last time you made a payment on the loan. Usually there are some exceptions, but usually it starts ticking from the last time you made a payment. So if you had a credit card debt, like Synchrony Bank, you made a payment 6 years ago, then the statute of limitations is expiring now. Great, so that's the statute of limitations in Wisconsin. Step 4, file with the court and serve the plaintiff. Okay, so you're almost done. You might think this is the easiest part. It's not. It's actually a pretty tricky part. A lot of people get hung up even if they have the answer document ready to go. They don't always get it filed just because this part can be super difficult. So you gotta print 2 copies mail one copy to the court, another copy to the opposing attorney. Okay, you aren't sending that copy to the debt collector or to the plaintiff. You're sending it to the plaintiff's attorney. Right. So if you're being sued by Midland Funding, you don't send it to Midland Funding headquarters. They don't want it. You send it to the law firm that Midland Funding hired, probably in your state, to sue you. That's who you're going to send it to. Thankfully, in Wisconsin, the courts don't charge a fee. That's good news. Okay, but some hangups here, right? So this means you need to have a printer. A lot of people don't have a printer. Maybe they do, but maybe the ink's dried up. Maybe you ran out of toner. Then you have to take it down to the post office. Post office is super. It's a dark place, honestly. It's a rough place to deal with. Not always super pleasant at the post office, unfortunately. But if you do make it to the post office, you probably want to send a USPS certified mail or USPS priority mail. Oftentimes people will say you should get like a signature return request or something along those lines. Usually at SoloSuit we find that the tracking number is sufficient to keep track of the document. Then you get those things bundled up and sent out. Again, it's worth mentioning, SoloSuit can take care of that for you. If that just sounds like too big of a headache and you need to get the document in quick, you can just go over to SoloSuit.com. We will have an attorney review your document, make sure everything's good, and then we'll even mail it out for you and make sure that it gets to the right place and gets filed properly. That's why our friend Katrina left us a 5-star review on Google. All right, here's what Katrina said. I got hit with a lawsuit and started looking up information online. I found SoloSuit and decided to try them out. Thanks. At first, I was just interested in their free services. Yep, a lot of people are. But I ended up going with a higher option and made the purchase for their service. That's because it's super worth it. They literally printed and mailed my documents that same day we tried. It was very easy to complete the forms and upload the documents. I was initially worried, of course, didn't know if it was a scam or if the courts would accept the documents. The courts accepted the documents and received them within 3 days. I definitely recommend them. Great and fast service. Definitely legit. Yep, we are legit. Thanks again. Perfect. Thank you, Katrina. Super happy we can help people out like you. Again, SoloSuit is actively, we're trying to close the justice gap and give consumers a fighting chance against some of the largest corporations in the world that are suing them, right? When people are getting sued, like an individual, just like Bob down the street is getting sued by Discover Bank, like one of the wealthiest corporations in the world. That's a big power asymmetry, right? It's like not even playing field. We're trying to even up that playing field by giving consumers, probably like yourself, like a really fighting chance. And oftentimes we actually help you win against these enormous corporations. Okay, so please remember, SoloSuit is always in your corner. Now, I'm gonna go to sleep.